So we ended our puppy dog on our belly in Sphinx pose, which is where we are now. So Sphinx is still an active backward bend. I see people being quite lazy in this, and it can happen. But I mean, you could. It's one of those yoga poses where you could do this at home watching the telly. You know, you're watching TV, you could be watching TV like that and giving yourself a good back bend. And rather than, you know, as I always keep saying, our shoulders are moving rounding forward, our back is rounding, it's terrible posture, really bad posture. We have breathing problems because our postures are so bad. We need to be doing more things like this to keep our spine healthy. So in our Sphinx position, you want your elbows stacked right underneath your shoulders. Your fingers are out in front, spread them wide as well. Your feet are hip distance apart. Your toes are pointed and your feet are nice and straight there as well. So the feet are not to the corners of the mat. We have got them hip distance apart here. Now, we'll start with the feet alignment. I want you to push down into the tops of the feet. Now, when you push down into the tops of the feet, what you may notice is those knees lift off the floor. So as soon as you push into the foot, your knee pushes off the mat, and that's what we want. You don't want the knees resting on the floor. You want your knees off the mat so that you can squeeze your thighs so that your thighs are engaged, and you should feel the belly then start to switch on as well. So push down through the tops of the feet, lift those kneecaps away from the floor, elbows directly underneath your shoulders, pull your belly into the spine, breathing in, push more through those forearms, send the elbows, imagine you're pushing the elbows to the back of your mat so your heart pulls through those arms. And it's the same as Cobra. You want to open your collarbone. So if you have rounded your back here again, you need to open and send those shoulders to the back of your mat. Pull your shoulders back, lift your chin away from the chest so you're opening that heart forward. And you should feel a beautiful stretch in that lower back. So again, we've not just collapsed here and hanging out and having a good time. It's an active backward bend. So push down through the tops of the feet, kneecaps lift off the floor, pull your belly away from that mat, squeeze your core as tight as you can, pushing down through the elbows. Again, you imagine you got that corset on. Pull your shoulders to the back of the mat, open your heart, lift your chin towards the front of your mat so you have that eye gaze forward. Push down through your forearms, breathe in here again. It's a vinyasa, we hold for 5 breaths, but again, yin, this is a yin yoga pose. We could also be here for a long time, like 5 minutes or so, because it's really good for working on our meridians. And again, always like to find a little bit of wiggle. Find a little bit of a wiggle there and move from sway, and it gets a good stretch in that side body as well. So that's Sphinx pose. It's a nice back bend to do. While we're here, we're also going to do seal. So seal is a little bit deeper than Sphinx. Now this is where your toes are going to come to the end of your mat. So open your feet wider so you have more space. You want your feet to the corners of your mat now. The hands are also going to come out to the sides of your mat. So you want your hands out. You want to imagine you are a seal pose. You are a seal. You know what seals do? I'm not going to do the noises. So hands are out to the sides on the floor. Feet are out to the corners of the mat. Again, you want to pull your belly to that spine. Spread your fingers. Take your inhale breath. And as you exhale, start to lift your chest. And maybe you feel tight still. So sometimes when you get in there and you still feel I'm really tight, we'll add a little bit of a flow to that so your back gets a bit warmer. Drop your chest back to the floor. Take your inhale breath. Lift back into your backward bend. Open your heart. Go up as high as you are comfortable with. And then lower your chest back to the floor. Let's do that again. Breathe in. Lift on the exhale. Push up. Open that spine. Gaze to the sky if you want a bit more. Lower yourself back to the floor. Let's do one more. Inhale, press through those palms, lift your chest, pull your heart forward. I see this in class as well. Those shoulders have come up to those ears. Push them away. Open your heart. Pull that chest forward. Always about your collarbone. Pull your collarbone open. Pull your shoulders to the back of the mat, which is not easy. Exhale, lower. Now, if you felt that in your back there, just give those hips a little rock out side to side, any tension, any pain or anything you felt. So as I said, seal is a little bit more advanced than Sphinx. So if you feel seal, because I've had so many clients with back pains and injuries, I have to give modifications and do different things for my clients. So if you are someone who has back problems and you felt seal was too much, you take a Sphinx pose instead. Now there's the other way of doing the seal. So it's where our feet are hip distance again. So you bring your feet back to hip distance. And this time the arms are out in front. Shoulders are in line with your wrists. Fingers are facing forward. Take your inhale breath as you prepare. Again, you push down through the tops of the feet. The kneecaps lift off the floor. Pull your belly to that spine. And then we start to walk one hand back, walk the opposite hand back. And then we're in another variation of that seal. So I haven't gone very far here because that's where I feel happy right now. But some days you might want to go further. So you work to your maximum. So if you have more spine flexibility, you may be able to walk your hands even further back. And then you find that spot where you feel comfortable enough to hold it there. Moving the shoulders again away from the ears, chin away from the chest, and hold, breathe. You still feel like you've got more space. You walk the hands a little further back again and you lift a little bit higher. And again, if you're happy there, you stay there. And just work again to your maximum. We breathe in. We exhale that breath out. We breathe in. And we exhale that breath out. Amazing, guys. Just drop down onto the forearms, open your knees wide, and give yourself a good stretch in child's pose. Push your hips back towards those heels. Give that back a stretch. You're not used to doing these kinds of things that can be quite intense on the lower back. So just stay there and hold for a couple more seconds. Breathe in. Exhale. Again, breathe in. Exhale. Let's take one more. Good luck. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. And then slowly make your way back into your seated position. All right, that is Sphinx and seal pose. You might still be feeling that in that lower back. You just give the head a little shake out as well. Nod your head from side to side. All right, amazing, guys. Move on to the next video now. That is some of your backward bend sequence.